going to review the Cubii under disc elliptical, or otherwise known as seated exercise bike. Unlike any other exercise bike that we have on the market, this one takes very little space, as you can see. So it's best for the people who don't have much space in the house, but also for those who work seated or like to watch TV and burn calories at the same time. I recently decided to use this Cubii. It arrives complete, almost fully assembled. All you have to assemble are the two pedals, and I'm going to show you how to assemble them, and then we go into what comes in the box. Well, there are two pedals, it's pretty clear. L written right here, left, and the same thing is written on the pedal, left. So the internal part, this part with the edge, see there are two parts, I'm not sure if you can see it. The part with the edge comes inside. Here's the little F. So you don't install it like this. In fact, you just follow this sign. You install it this way. How do you do that? Well, this thing goes up, flips forward. That's how you flip it. It's pretty simple. There are two screws. Just tighten them. It doesn't come with the box, so you need a screwdriver. As you can see, it's pretty simple to assemble this thing, so all you need is a screwdriver, which I hope they included in the box, but it's not there. So just keep in mind that it's on one end, the pedals are plastic, so you don't have to tighten them too much. That's it. Flip it. That's one pedal. Now we go for the next one, the same as the other one. Just the part with the edge come inside. This way, not this way. The part with the edge does not go outside. Plus it's written R or R, so the same as the old one. Just need to flip it, but before flipping, see, there are two pieces that goes inside these two holes. Simple as that. Flip it. That's it. And that's all it takes for the assembly part. Now, aside from these two pedals and the actual pedal exerciser, in the box you receive these few pieces, which I'm not sure if you can see it, but this is a cable that charges this thing for about 5 hours. You need to plug it in for 5 hours. It's gonna go miles. I have it written in the review, which I'll be linking. As I mentioned, there are two type of plugs for different countries. This, I think it's for the UK. I'm not sure. For Italy, we use this. Basically, you have to make sure this is straight with this one. Let me come closer. See this? This comes like this. Just one little turn. And when you want to remove it, there's a little button here. You don't see it probably, but you just push that button and you turn it a little bit. Let me do it again. You first make sure this is straight this way. Put in there a little turn. That's it. And when you remove it, you push it and open it. Plus, it's rated open. When you open it, you push this button. You turn it this way. When you close it, you don't need to push the button. You just close it this way. So I'm going to be using this this charger and this cable to plug in the Cubii for a couple of hours to charge. We will be using the machine when it's fully charged. As you can see right here, you will be plugging in the cable. Well, make sure you plug it in the right direction. The side that has the little mark, it goes down. It's pretty clear how to plug it in. We have to charge it for at least, I think, 5 hours for the first time, and then we decide we will be using it, and I will show you. One other thing that I didn't mention come in the box are these two Cubii wheel blockers. I will use them later, so you see how these two wheel blockers are being used. I plugged in the Cubii so it can be charged. It was first red because there was no battery. It's supposed to be plugged in for 6 hours to fully charge, but once it's fully charged, they recommend to unplug it so you save the battery. This way the battery will be consumed less. Well, when it's red, it means it's almost empty. There's no charge in there. But when there is yellow, which is what it is right now, it says there's between 20 to 70% of charge it has. And when it becomes fixed green, it means it's 100% charged. So we are gonna wait until it's fixed green, and then we are going to continue. It's plugged in. Okay, now after a little bit, it's no longer blinking. It's a fixed light, which means it's charged. And now we will unplug this, and let's try it here. We're watching Netflix. Okay, well, these pedals are padded. You don't have to use them with shoes. These are not hard plastics. You can see my nails go in here. These are padded and comfortable. And the size of the pedals, I will write all the specifics in the rating review. But it should accommodate pretty much all shoe sizes. I wear size 9, but there's this much space here. You can use it, obviously standing, you cannot use the machine, but as long as you're seated, you should be okay. One thing you need to keep in mind is that your height is very important. If you're a taller person, you will be able to use the bike on a sofa that is wider. But if you're a shorter person like me, you need a chair with less distance here. Less distance between the backrest and the front. So I will sit here, bring it, and it's pretty comfortable. I could totally drink a glass of tea or coffee and watch my show. As you can see, I'm not even bothered, and it's not much of moving, and the noise is minimum, literally minimum, very little. And we will go and we will check also on the app how everything is recorded. One thing before I forget is, well, this was mainly designed to be used under a desk. Well, you could use it under a desk. Oh, just remember that this machine weighs 25 pounds. So if you want to move it, it shouldn't be too difficult. On a chair, office chair, to use it, you'll be going backward when you start. That's why the Cubii included these two chair blockers. Let me show you what they do. Basically, you'll be using one of these wheel blockers underneath one chair, one wheel, and the other one underneath the other wheel. And now let's try to use the machine and see if it keeps going backward. Okay, now my chair is not going backward, not sliding back, because I used the wheel blockers for the back chair, for the back wheels of my chair. As you can see right here, there's one, and there's another one, the two of them. Another very important thing to consider is the dimension of Cubii, because you need to have the space to use it, whether it's under your desk or anywhere else that you're planning to use the product. Here I'm going to measure the width. Well, the width of the frame, which I earlier said is irrelevant, is 30 centimeters. The same in the back and the same in the front. But the important part is the width of the two pedals here. So we are going to do this. "45 centimeters, this part in the front. Let's see the width in the back of the pedals. 42. The length of the pedals, in case you want to see if your feet or shoes fit these pedals, it's 35 centimeters, the length. And the width is 15 centimeters in the front and 13 centimeters in the back. That is the dimension of the pedals in the machine. Now let's take a look at the height of the pedal, this pedal, foot pedal, at the highest point, which is right here, the highest point. From the floor to here, it's 28 centimeters. The height of the pedal at the highest point, this part of the pedal, 28 centimeters. And there's another thing about the resistance of Cubii. It's manual magnetic, which means every time you want to change the resistance, you have to lean forward and manually change it. It's not really convenient when you're using this machine under a desk, but if you're using an open space like here, it's not that difficult. What I read is that Cubii has made a newer model called Total Body Plus. That machine has electronic magnetic resistance, which means you can adjust the resistance from your phone or from your laptop where you install the Cubii application. That's something to consider. Another con of this machine is that it does not have upper body workout. And again, Cubii has gone another step further in the newer model, which is what I just said, Total Body Plus, and they added 2 resistance bands that you can use for curls, for arms, you can use for shoulders, and this is another feature the new model has. Another thing is that the newer model, which is the Total Body Plus, is that there are 12 magnetic levels of resistance. This one has 8 resistance. As for what kind of situation you can use this, or what can you do when you're using this machine, you could work behind a desk and use it. You could watch TV and use it. You could drink a glass of tea or coffee and use it. You could read while using it. The motion, the beauty of this machine is that the motion is not circular 360 degrees, it's angular. So if you lean back like this and you read something, it doesn't bother. As for the height of the desk, it depends on your height, personal height, how tall you are. The taller you are, obviously, the taller the desk has to be. So that's very much related to that. But also, if you have a space in front of the desk that you can just push the Cubii a little bit forward, you could use it pretty much under any desk. But if you are using one of those corner desks, it's going to be difficult because you probably won't have a space to push the Cubii further to use it. And as for the distance between you and the Cubii, you cannot push it too far, because then you're either in front of your feet or the back of your feet will lose touch with the actual pedal. The important is that you always stay in touch with the pedal, so you're always connected. So you can't push it too forward. That was too forward for me. For my height, I could keep it here and pedal and keep my both feet attached. I can't bring it too close. I could still bring it a little bit closer, but when it starts, it's still fine. When it starts hitting this part of the seat, it means you're too close. And the closer you bring, remember that you add extra impact on your knees. So a little bit further also affect the impacts, especially for senior users. They don't want to bring it too close because then it's gonna have too much impact. Another thing that I was going to talk about the Cubii is the distance between the two pedals. I think they could minimize this distance. Normally in cycling it's referred to as Q factor, the distance between the two pedals. And the distance here is let me hold this exactly 15 centimeters. 15 centimeters. It's not too much, but if it was a little bit less, it would have been better. Because when we normally walk, our feet come close to the center of the body. But it's acceptable. 15 centimeters is an ergonomic distance. Just remember that you cannot use. Another thing that you should remember when buying this machine, which I think for certain people can be a deal breaker, is that this machine cannot be used as standing. If you have a standing disc, you cannot use it. There are other options like Nice Day and Bionic, and there are a few options out there that allow sitting and a standing workout, but this one in particular, all the Cubii, in fact, so far all the Cubii ellipticals can only be used seated, not standing. So keep that in mind as well. As for the application, I will show you in another video, or I will include it in this video to show you a little bit of how it works. I hope you enjoy this machine. One other thing is that this machine weighs 25 lbs, 25 pounds. So for some people, it's not that easy to carry around, but for many, it shouldn't be that difficult. You need to keep that in mind. I think Cubii could have done a better job reducing the weight. That way, it would have been easier to move it from one place to another place. Especially if you like to use it one day in the balcony, one day in front of the TV, another day in the kitchen. So I think they should work on that and minimize the weight of the machine. And especially because these machines are normally used at home by seniors, by those different age categories. So it has to be easier to move. But thankfully there is a handle here, so you could just grab it from here and move it. That's about it. As for the noise, I'm going to ride the machine one last time. You see, it's pretty quiet. It's pretty quiet. I watch TV and I do this, and it doesn't bother me at all. And you could use the machine without the shoes as well. I tried it and I liked it very much. So you don't have to be wearing shoes when you're using the machine, because these are soft paddings. What you see right here, these are not hard plastic pedals, which is very common among the disc ellipticals. These are all soft paddings. Well, I hope you enjoyed the review, and if you have any questions, let me know, and I will try the machine and I will try to answer your questions. Have a good day.